Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
And then there were 12, that's right, 12 still standing in the 2025 NCAA March Madness basketball tournament after 4 games were complete in the Sweet 16. Hi, everybody, Terry Norvelle here on a Friday. We've got a little bit of an abbreviated show. We will go until about 5:30, and then we will give you, right here on Action Sports Jets, we'll give you live boys lacrosse. Bowls will take on Lake Highland Prep. We'll go to that lacrosse game live being played over at Bowls. You'll enjoy that. Lacrosse, really a moving sport in this area. I remember when it first started popping up about 15 years ago or so. I was like, well, what? And people told me this thing is taking over. It really is. So we'll get out of here about 5:30, but that'll give us plenty of time to dive into college basketball. The topic du jour, obviously, right now, as the second weekend is upon us in March Madness. We hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later. Brent Beard will join us as well. We'll look back and we'll look forward. Back on the Gators game, obviously, last night, one of the 4 games. And we'll look at the games that were completed. The SEC standing strong. 12 teams are still standing. 6 are SEC schools. Kind of what we expected. I think what most of us expected, particularly the top group of 7 that made it in. The top 7 of the 14 that made it in, we thought they would all be pretty tough outs, and they have been. Could have been more, should have probably been one more. Arkansas let one get away from them, did the Razorbacks. Man, 16-point lead. That's going to be tough to take into the postseason. But I think all in all for Calipari and Arkansas, it was a win. I don't know if they thought they'd get to the Sweet 16, and then they had some injuries. But it could have been a 7th SEC team in had Arkansas held on. But Texas Tech wins. They will take on Florida tomorrow. If you have not heard, that time has been set. 6:09 tomorrow will be tip-off. Florida, Texas Tech winner goes to the Final Four. No word yet on update on Alex Condon. The fact that he came in after the sprained, the mild, I guess, sprained ankle. I guess it can't be a serious sprained ankle if you come back into the game. But let's start with Florida. Obviously, I thought the Florida-Maryland game last night played exactly to script. I thought that was absolutely the way I thought the game was going to go. I think most pundits, most experts thought it as well. The Florida depth was a huge factor. The Florida bench, the Florida physicality, some of the numbers from the game that we expected, they're still hard to look at and not just rub your eyes. Rebound advantage. Gators, 42 rebounds. Maryland, 20. I mean, in a high-level basketball game, it's rare that in a high-level, good team basketball game, 2 good teams, it's rare that one team only gets 20 rebounds in a 40-minute game with a bunch of shots. It's not like there was a no-shot clock and they were stalling the ball, anybody. 42 rebounds to 20. They more than doubled them, did the Gators on the boards, which we thought was potential. There was potential for Florida to probably dominate on the boards, and they did. Bench scoring. We talked about Maryland. 5 players, a couple guys give you token minutes off the bench, but they're no factor. Florida is absolutely ecstatic when they put bench players in. There's really not – Florida really has 2 starting 5s if you really break it down. The Gators win the bench scoring 29-3. 29-3. Florida, really, the game was close in the first half. 2-point lead by the Gators at halftime, mainly on the strength of Florida turning the ball over 13 times. A little sloppy. That's kind of been their MO the last couple of games. And they've had that happen during the regular season. Walter Clayton, for all he does, he's your point, probably is not a true point guard. Clayton, remember last year, Zion Pullen was the point guard. Clayton was the 2. He would slide over and play a little point and give Pullen a break. But Clayton is not the best ball handler, one. So I think when you're when your true point guard is not a true point guard, you're going to have a couple more turnovers probably. You live with it because he's Walter Clayton. Secondarily, to follow up the turnovers, Florida is a 94-foot, high-flying, running, jumping, dunking team. And I think you get a little sloppy at times trying to make that 45-foot lob pass for the dunk or that long bounce pass. You think you can squeeze it in, and you live with it. You just live with that. Florida, 13 turnovers in the first half, 4 in the second half when the Gators really got it going and blew Maryland out. Pretty good Maryland team. Derek Queen, the big player for Maryland. I was just talking to a buddy of mine in the parking lot before I came in here. We were breaking down the game, and I told my buddy Ron, I said, Ron, I don't want to take away from Derek Queen, the All-American and the freshman that will probably go to the NBA, one-and-done kind of guy. I said, one of the oddities I thought from the game last night was late in the game, they flashed Queen's numbers, and he had like 23 at the time. And I was like, what? He finished with 27. Was that not the quietest 27-point scorer that I've ever seen? Really no factor. He got going a little bit, but really no factor. Good, solid win for the Gators as they win and move on. Again, Florida plays tomorrow, 6:09. That is the early game tomorrow. It's showing as TBS or True TV. 6:09 tomorrow. Florida gets going, as I said, and certainly when we reconvene on Monday, Florida will either be in the Final Four or their season's over, one and done. So we'll continue talking Gator basketball and SEC basketball. Speaking of SEC basketball, wow, Alabama. What about Alabama? You talk about some rub your eyes numbers when you look at that box score or if you watch that game. My God, what a pace that thing got off to last night. It was a lot of fun, particularly early. Alabama, if you haven't heard, they made, let me say it again, Alabama made 25 three-point shots. Not attempted. They made 25 three-point shots. Mark Sears was unconscious. And, Alabama, scores 113, could have been 125. If BYU was not so cold last night, how fun would that game have been? I mean, it got away by mid-first half. It was starting to get away. Alabama just could not miss. BYU is a high-scoring team. I mean, what did they get, 88 or whatever? They scored 88 or whatever it was, and they couldn't drop it the ocean from behind the line. They, at one point, started 1 for 13. BYU can shoot, and they can score. They just missed last night. I don't think Alabama was great defensively, but that's one of the plights of a one-and-done tournament. I mean, man, what happens? Of all the nights BYU couldn't drop it in the ocean, last night wasn't the game. I mean, you could have faked it to make it sometime playing a lesser opponent, but playing Alabama last night and that Alabama shooting team, my God. But think about it. If BYU shot decent from behind the three-point line, Alabama, I noted it down, Alabama hit the 100-point mark with 6 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the game. 6:28, they were at 100. And they coasted, right, the rest of the way. They hit 113. Can they keep that type of performance up against Duke? I tell you one thing, though, I cannot wait to settle in and watch Alabama and Duke. How fun is that game going to be tomorrow? Alabama and Duke will be a really fun game. We kind of touched on Texas Tech. They get by Arkansas in a furious comeback, and Lord knows I couldn't stay up and watch that thing. But 16 points, the Razorbacks blew a second half pretty late in the game. 16-point lead. Good season. That's going to sting, though. That is going to definitely leave a mark. Calipari. Let me see if I can find all the different setups here. No, that's women. Let me get this way. Want to set you up for tonight's action. Okay, here we go. 4 more games tonight, of course. And then we will have the Elite Eight will be set. Then we'll have 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Those 4 standing winners loop around to the Final Four the next weekend, and everybody will move to San Antonio. So tonight, CBS 7:09, the early tip game. Ole Miss, 6th seed, 24-11 on the year. They take on one of the more quiet Michigan State high-seeded teams in Tom Izzo's career. Michigan State's the 2 seed in the South. They're 29-6. They won the Big Ten. But, man, this is not a typical Tom Izzo, one of the favorites. As a matter of fact, you have to look far and wide to find anybody, I think, picking Michigan State to win it all. But Michigan State, they are the clear favorite here. Ole Miss, pretty good basketball team, and hardened. They're hardened from playing, the likes of Florida and Alabama and all these guys. That is your early game. Ole Miss, Michigan State, 7:09 tip tonight. 7:39, TBS True TV. Kentucky will take on Tennessee. 3rd seed Kentucky. It's already been a win now for Mark Pope. First-year coach Mark Pope. It's been a win, no matter what happens tonight. And I know Tennessee lost to Kentucky twice in the regular season. But no matter what, and I think Tennessee wins. We'll get back deeper into this game in a moment because it's a very important game to me. I'll tell you that story here in a minute. But no matter what happens tonight, Kentucky, it's been a win for Mark Pope. First year, gets Kentucky going. It would have been tough if Kentucky was, let's say, one and done. If they did not perform well in this tournament, it would have been tough to watch Arkansas and Calipari go to the Sweet 16. But no, Kentucky making it to the Sweet 16 no matter what happens tonight when they take on Tennessee. By the way, the Vols, a 2 seed. They come in at 29-7. So that's the second tip tonight, 7:39. Your night session late games, 2 of them obviously. Michigan with 2 7-footers. They take on Auburn. Auburn kind of stubbed their toe a little bit coming down the stretch. 30-5, obviously the 1 seed in the South. Michigan, the 5 seed in the South, 27-9. That will be a 9:39 tip. Michigan, Auburn tonight. And then your late game, 10:09 tip will be, or scheduled. Again, this is True TV, TBS. Purdue and Houston. That's a 1 and a 4, and that's the game. It's weird. Houston, this may be because they don't have a big-time football program, maybe. Houston basketball, as good as they've been under Kelvin Sampson, they're easy to kind of forget about. They're just not real sexy. They're not the headline grabber. Houston, the 1 seed, will take on Purdue. That's the late game. Houston is 32-4, coming out of a pretty good conference, too, probably the second best conference in college basketball. Purdue, 24-11, and they've got 2 or 3 holdovers from the last 2 years where Purdue was a 1 seed and a 1 seed overall. So, certainly Zach Edey's not there. But Purdue, they're hardened. They know the tournament. They've played a lot. They've still got guys on that Purdue team that have played a lot of March Madness games. And their coach, Painter, as well, has coached in a lot of these games. And he's been there a long, long time now after taking over for Gene Cady. So that's the setup tonight. For the 4 games. We'll get back into some of the games from last night. Speaking of coaches, I want to get this news out from the world of college football. Deion Sanders and Colorado, they've agreed on an extension, a 5-year extension to the tune of $54 million for Deion. So Colorado all in with Deion. They think what he has done to elevate the visibility of their program, obviously. I mean, they've won some games, 8-4, after a 4-8, I think. But Colorado and Deion Sanders have agreed, and they've announced Colorado coach Deion Sanders has earned a 5-year, $54 million contract extension that will run through the 2029 season. Heather Dinich from ESPN with this story here, making him one of the highest paid coaches in the country, according to a copy of the contract obtained by ESPN today. Sanders' base salary will increase to $10 million in 2025, making him the highest paid coach in the Big 12 and among the top 10 highest paid head football coaches in the country. According to the contract, Sanders will earn another $10 million in 2026. It'll bump up to $11 million in 27, $11 million in 28, and $12 million in 2029, the final year of this extension. Now, if Sanders accepts another coaching job before the end of the contract, his buyout would start at $12 million if he left on or before December 31st, 2025, followed by $10 million in 2026, $6 million. So it goes down. The buyout goes down, and even where the buyout starts at 12, gosh, that's not huge in this climate anymore, I don't think. I mean, if somebody wants him and they want him immediately. Interesting, though. Interesting. Colorado, their football program, and a lot of times at these major schools, big state schools, your football program is one of your big student recruiting tools. If your football program's good and it's on TV and it's on shows and that brand, I always talk about that brand is out there, there's value. Bringing general pop student population to your school, I got to believe that's the main impetus for Colorado with the University of Colorado going ahead and really, really making this commitment. And again, Deion, perfect for Deion, gets a raise, gets a massive raise. The buyout won't scare anybody. I think Deion's next stop will be Florida State or Dallas. I think that's pretty understood. So there you have it. Deion Sanders with a huge contract extension. Now, if you're other coaches in the Big 12 and other coaches in college football, you love it. You love this because you go knocking on, you go to your AD's office and say, hey, can we have a talk here real quick? You knock on or set up a meeting with the AD and the president if you're a successful coach in college football, and you go, hey, man, 4-8, 8-4. Look what this cat got. So, yeah, if you're a coach in college football, you're not going, what the hell? Has this guy done enough to earn these big numbers? You go, no. Raise that bar, baby. Raise that bar. Particularly, you're 10-2 guy. You're a big bowl guy. You made the playoff guy. You like it. You like it a lot. Wanted to get that story out. We got some miscellaneous sports I want to get to before we get out of here. Remember, 5:30, we cut out of here for live lacrosse, boys lacrosse, high school lacrosse coming up. Bulls taking on Lake Highland Prep. That'll be live right here on Action Sports Jax. So we'll get out of here a little bit early, but I want to get some miscellaneous stories. Major League Baseball, a couple of neat things I thought happened yesterday on opening day 2.0, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about that. And man, speaking of baseball, but the college variety, goodness gracious. The Florida Gators 0-7 now. They lost the opening game at Ole Miss last night. Doubleheader today because they moved the Saturday game up, I think, for weather. And I know that the easy comeback for Gator Nation, if they're saying, well, Terry, don't panic on this Gator baseball team. Remember last year, they couldn't win a midweek game. They had an uglier record overall, but the Gators got red hot and rode it all the way to a Final Four finish in Omaha. I mean, they made the College World Series and nearly won the damn thing. I mean, they really did nearly win the thing. I don't know. It feels different this year. It feels like, man. I mean, 0-7, and I know everybody makes it to Hoover now. The SEC changed the format. All 16 teams first year get to make it to Hoover, and you could win your way into a regional. It just feels different. Nothing's gone right for Gator baseball. A couple of the big boppers haven't hit the ball out of the park like you thought. They've had a couple of injuries to position players. Coppola, the big lefty, I don't know if he'll ever really pitch much more. It looks like out for the year. They were counting on him as a stalwart in the rotation. So Gator baseball really, really scuffling. All right, before we go to break, and I'll bring this up when we get Brent Beard and hopefully Patrick Young a little bit later here on the program. You right now, even though this is not Tennessee orange, really, this is, by the way, PY, it's my PY Patrick Young Foundation shirt he gave me a long time ago. Coincidentally, I wore this shirt today because tonight you are looking at a big old Tennessee Vol fan. Wish that I was on a Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills, 'cause there ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bills. Corn won't grow at all on Rocky Top, dirt's too rocky by far. That's why all the folks on a Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. You know it now, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Woo! Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top. Why the hell am I singing Rocky Top? What you're asking. You're asking that. How about this, boys? You know I'm not a big gambler. And Patrick's going to laugh at this when I tell him this story. Not a big gambler, guys. I do have a Hard Rock account. I haven't put any bets out in at least a month. Haven't messed with it in a month. Just giving my money away. Here, just take it. Just direct deposit. Take the money. Don't even pick the games. I'll just give you $100 a month. Anyway, I'm not much of a gambler. Never have been. Patrick and I both got on the Hard Rock. So, yesterday, old Terry might have threw $10 on the Hard Rock, and I might have picked out a little 4-leg parlay, boys and girls. And I might have hit the first leg. I took Florida, giving 6.5, and I think do we have Patrick or Brent Beard? They'll love this story. I hear somebody.
It's Brent.
Oh, Mr. Beard, how are you?
Chino and I are doing okay. Chino jumped up here and he's listening to the story.
So anyway, and did you hear? I was singing Rocky Top a minute ago.
Yes, I was.
People were saying, "What the hell are you singing Rocky Top?" Well, Brent, I made a $10 wager on my Hard Rock. I hadn't been on it in over a month, almost 2 months. Probably hadn't done a bet. So yesterday, I put $10 on a 4-leg parlay. You know how parlay works? You got to get them all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took the Gators to cover minus 6.5. They won by 16. So there's check number one.
Yeah.
I took the over-under in Florida's game last night.
Mm-hmm.
I took the over 156.5, and I think the score was 158. Check. I'm 2 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
My third leg last night, I took Arkansas at plus 5.5. If they won, I won, or if they lost within 5.5. Well, they lost by 2.
Wow.
Old Terry's 3 for 3, baby. And my final leg, if I hit, I put $10 on a 4-leg parlay. If Tennessee wins tonight by 5 or more, that $10, I turn it into a winnings of 116, my man. 100. Woo!
Well, now, that's better in the stock market right now.
Rocky Top, you always be. Hey, I'm putting on the checkerboard overalls like those guys. No, I'm doing it all, baby. I'm getting me a Daniel Boone hat. What is that, a raccoon hat?
Yes.
Oh, what do you think? Am I going to win?
Yeah, I think you will. I think Tennessee wins tonight, even though Kentucky has won the last 2. I'll tell you one thing that I learned today was, believe it or not, Kentucky thought to be a very poor defensive team.
Right.
The last 6 weeks has played better defense than Tennessee.
Yeah. Would you agree? And we're gonna stretch this segment a little bit longer. Would you agree with? I don't know if you were on when talking about this game a little bit. Kentucky and Tennessee tonight. Win, lose, or draw for Kentucky. I think the season's been a win. The season goes down. Mark Pope's done a nice job. He's stabilized. He's brought some freshness.
Yes.
And you know, it did get stale. I remember predicting when Calipari said before he and Kentucky divorced. You and I were saying that for 6 months. Man, it's stale. It's just stale. And I think all the pressure's on Tennessee tonight. I think it's been a win for Kentucky basketball, even if they lose. Don't you agree? Tennessee has all the pressure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I still think Tennessee's the better team.
Me too.
And now the key for them is going to be, and you mentioned this name from time to time. Chaz Lanier is their shooter. I mean, he's not Dalton Knecht of last year.
Yeah.
But he has done a really good job for them. And again, the great thing is, and I'm happy to share this, is from the play-in round to the first round, the SEC was 8-6. Since then, they're 9-1. So our national media friends out there, Terry, they need to know that. Okay.
Hey, and the one was an overtime loss, right? Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Boy, how bad. We'll talk about this a little bit when we get back from break. How bad was that loss? How bad did they let that go? Man.
And me, you, Patrick, and I think a lot of other people, we're not the only bright bulbs out there. Calipari is not a game day coach. He is a talent acquisition coach.
Yeah.
And he bludgeons you. When he wins big, he bludgeons you with talent.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, that he might not be quite Mike White, but Calipari is not going to. I mean, the fact that somebody in this tournament blew a 16-point second half lead in the Sweet 16, I would have immediately pointed. If I didn't know who it was, I'd say my money's on Calipari. Right?
They had a double-digit lead until 3 minutes and change. Terry, my Stars, at some point, if you've got a 16-point lead, possession-wise, there are almost not enough possessions to lose that game.
And what did you say? They were up 16 with how much? What was that time you gave?
They were 16 in the second half, double-digit advantage until it was knocked down to 8 with 3 minutes and 21 seconds. So they were up double digits with 3 minutes and 21 seconds until then.
Goodness gracious. All right, Brent, let's take a break. Stay where you're at. We touched on Florida. I thought the Florida game went exactly to script. We'll get back to that. And how fun was that shooting display last night? Alabama. I only wish BYU had a better shot last night because that game, that could have been a 130 to 125 if BYU is a good shooting team.
They are. That's a pretty good team. It really is.
They are, but they just couldn't drop in the ocean. What a bad night to have your sights off a little bit, right, on your gun. Stick around, Brent Beard. We'll come back. We'll review some more of the games from last night. We've got 4 tonight. What a fun time of year. And this year's March Madness has not disappointed. It has been a great start. We're halfway home, and it's going to be a fun race to the finish. Final Four next weekend and the championship game a week from Monday. Break time. The Young and Norvelle show continues right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
We are back. Good looking shot of on the campus at the University of Florida. I think the weather's just about like that everywhere. Good time of year as we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle Show. Brent Beer joining us here as we review a bunch of basketball from last night, and we'll start previewing the games coming up tonight. Brent, let's. I went through Florida, Maryland. I thought that game played out exactly to script. Didn't you? Did you feel that way? The lack of a bench, the rebounding edge. I thought and there were some weird numbers from that game as well. But did that game play out about like you thought?
Yeah, it did. Frankly, big win for Florida. They struggled somewhat early. Then their depth just kind of overwhelmed. By the way, Florida now is 10-2 in the Sweet 16 games. That's pretty good.
That is not bad.
Won 9 straight. They have 6 top 25 wins this month.
This month, I heard that.
Florida does.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the concern early was maybe a little bit with Alex Condon, but he got back the game and he appeared to be doing okay. I tell you what, Derek Queens who scored 27 points, made 10 free throws. That's a pretty good player, isn't he, Terry?
Yeah, he killed it at the free throw line, didn't he? I think he was 10 for 10 at the free throw line. Some of those numbers I'll go over with you that we went over earlier, some of the weird numbers that played out normal. In a high-level basketball game with 2 quality teams, which we had last night, Florida, Maryland, you don't see a rebounding stat like this. 42 Florida, 20. Maryland played the entire game and got 20 rebounds. They got doubled up on the boards. Florida bench scoring 29-3. We expected that. We expected the rebounding. We expected the bench scoring. Just some odd numbers. Speaking of Florida, and I've been a proponent ever since I've been old enough to know what March Madness is. If you make the Elite Eight, you're probably good enough to win the national title. The ball's got to bounce your way. The draw.
Yes.
Do you realize this is Florida's 10th Elite Eight? They're 10. They've won 2 titles. They've played for a third, and then. Remember, Donovan, he went through that little bit of a streak where he couldn't get out of the first weekend, and then he got hot. They went to 3 Patrick went to 3 consecutive Elite Eights. If you make it that far, you've got a real shot at winning the whole thing. I mean,
yeah. I remember one of Donovan's early teams. You probably do too. That made it to the. Let me think about this a minute. That made, I think made it to the Final Four or were right on the verge of doing so.
Yeah.
And listen to your point about Elite Eight. You've got to appreciate Elite Eight. You don't get an Elite Eight every year.
I agree.
It's not quite the Final Four, but it's pretty doggone close.
You make it that far,
prestige.
You make it that far, you're really close to the ball bounces your way. By the way, this will be Florida's biggest basketball game and deepest run since 2017, when at half, Mike White and the Gators in the Elite Eight, they led South Carolina at the half, and Thornwell, remember Thornwell, the guard for South Carolina? He got hot, and South Carolina came back and knocked Florida out, and South Carolina went to the Final Four. This is the biggest. How about that? This is the biggest game for Florida basketball since 2017.
Well, I still think the biggest game's coming.
Yeah.
On my birthday on April the 7th.
Oh my!
When they're in the championship game, I believe that's coming. Will Richard played well last night, Terry. He had 15 points. My stars, Florida shot 50% from the field.
Unbelievable, yeah.
You're not going to lose any games when you do that. And 40% from the arc. I mean, man, that's almost as good as you can do.
Yeah, a really good shooting night. I think this upcoming game tomorrow, Florida, Texas Tech, I expect them to play out a little bit. I think Texas Tech's probably a little better than Maryland, but there's a lot of similarities. Texas Tech goes hard with their starting five. They don't go deep on their bench. This Texas Tech game, it'll probably be a dogfight early. I could see this game playing out the same way as Florida, Maryland.
Probably, I would agree with that. I mean, Florida's bench and their bigs right now, and I will go back to the statement you made about the rebounding. I think Maryland's bench at some point, look, when you got tired legs, you can't rebound.
No,
and at some point that takes its toll, does it not?
You would history of basketball, yeah. Tired legs, springy, fresh legs generally beat tired legs anytime. All right, let's put Florida, Maryland to bed. We talked a little bit about Florida, Texas Tech. Last night, the Alabama game. You talk about numbers that just you rub your eyes looking at these numbers from the box score. Yeah. Brent, I know you know this stat, but I want to throw it out for our viewers. Last night, Alabama they hit 25. They made 25 three-pointers. That's 75 points, okay? Right? The stat is BYU scored 88, in case you're wondering. If Alabama last night did not make one 2-point shot, if all they made were three-pointers and free throws, they would have won the game 93-88. If they did,
that's right.
They were 25 of 51 from behind the arc. That's ungodly.
Well, we'd said for weeks if they ever start shooting well. And look, the amazing thing about this Alabama team is they shoot and they play much better on the road than they do at home.
And you've said that all year. It's a weird stat. You've said that all year.
Is. And it still comes to fruition with that too. So first team to score 100 points in a Sweet 16 game since North Carolina beat Indiana 101-86, and that was back in 2016. With the referees calling these games, I'm curious of what you've seen about that. With the officials calling these games close, I mean, some of these games, if you breathe on the opposition, you get called for a foul. Yeah. To score 100 points in a game right now, Terry, is quite an effort, frankly.
It is. Speaking of effort or lack of, boy, what a night for BYU, a good shooting team that scores a lot. Again, they scored 88 last night. BYU behind the line, they were 6 of 30. So Bama was plus 19 on made three-point shot. 6 of 30 the night that Alabama hits 25, Brent. These numbers are just mind-boggling.
I'm not sure you hit 25 in an open gym in practice.
Ooh, that is tough.
Now, obviously, Mark Sears played well. He got 34 points. He also got 8 assists, which I thought were very important. But Holloway, Youngblood, Amari all got 10 points or double digits, shall I say, for Alabama. And which leads you to say is, can they beat Duke? I mean, I've said all along I thought Duke would win, but if Bama shoots anything like this, and I think their strategy is going to have to be different with Duke. I mean, could they win? Yeah, I think it's like you said a minute ago. If you get to the Elite Eight, you can win. You can win the national championship.
You really can. You really can. I've always believed that the Elite Eight, like you said, it's not the Final Four, but you get there, you've got a team that's capable of winning the damn thing. You've got a team that's capable. How about Alabama last night? They were 25 of 51. They took 51 3-point shots, made half of them basically.
Yeah.
They took 15 2-point shots. They were 10 of 15, so they made a bunch. They only took 15 inside the arc, and they made 18 free throws. Again, 75 points off of 3-point shots, 18 free throws. Forget the 2-point shots, and they still win the game, 93-88.
Well, they have been coming along steady. Alabama and Auburn both struggled at the end of the regular season.
Really did.
And then they have been able to pick it up along that line too. So I watched the Duke game last night. Terry, there were stretches, there were possessions where I'm convinced Duke probably hit shots in like 10 straight possessions.
Is that right?
And I never seen anything like that. And there was a point, Terry, I'm convinced that at the end of the first half, if Flagg had been on the rafters, he could have thrown the ball in from there.
Really? Wow. That impressive, huh? I didn't watch much of it. I was too tired.
I get that.
I was too tired, but man, oh man, would I pay good money to go watch Duke and Alabama. That should be, I mean, that right now, and the tournament can still play out, that right now is the must-see game so far, right, of the tournament. That's the must-see game.
I heard someone say today they thought Duke Alabama would be a makeshift national championship game.
Yeah, but that now it can change if Florida meets up with Duke in the finals. That's obviously something like that. But right now, I don't know how many games we've played so far. That Alabama Duke, particularly with Alabama doing what they did last night, with them doing that, caught it. I mean, every sports radio show, PTI, all the TV shows. That's the story, was that incredible shooting display.
Oh, yeah. And right now, if you were Terry, if you were a prospect, why would you not want to come play for Nate Oates?
No, absolutely. And he strikes me. Alabama needs to build a moat around that basketball office because the NBA is going to come. He strikes me as an NBA guy, man. He looks like a guy.
Listen, I know you're being facetious there, but here's the reality. What they need to do at the end of the year, they need to tear up his contract.
Yeah.
And they need to do all they can to keep him, including to get some serious talk into building a new arena.
They've got to do something to Coleman. Yeah, it's almost now, and Alabama's on TV so much now, Brent. It's almost embarrassing when you see it on TV. And I've been in there. I've been in there once for a game. It's been 15 years ago, but you know what I mean. You look at it. It looks like an arena that the football program has always dominated, obviously, and for years basketball was kind of patted on the head. That arena looks like they've got to do something with that arena. Wouldn't you agree?
The arena seats 15,000.
Yeah.
And by the way, Auburn's arena, which is thought of as the latest and the greatest, seats 9.
Yes, and a little small, but it's modern. It's not. It's built modern with modern materials. Coleman looks old when you see it on TV.
Well, I tell you, part of the problem with Coleman is the lighting. The lighting's terrible.
I would agree with that as well. Hey, before we forget, or I forget, let's get away from basketball for a quick second. Deion Sanders in Colorado, they announced a massive extension, 5-year, $54 million extension through 2029. Buyout starts at $12 million and then works down every year. Brent, what do you make of this? If you're other coaches, you're going, hey, AD, let's talk, man. This guy went 4-8, 8-4. we're winning 10, whoever we are, we're winning 10, 11, 12 games. What'd you think of that? Well, obviously, Colorado thinks there's great value in Deion has put Colorado. The brand is out there. It was buried. What did you think of that? I wasn't surprised, but I went, wow.
If you're the AD, now tell me what you're paying for. You're pretty smart business guys. I've said often here. Are you paying for the wins? Or are you paying for the exposure? I think you're paying for the exposure, don't you?
I do too. And that translates. Most of these big state schools, their number one recruiting tool for gen pop student, general population student, which is where you make your money. It's from football being plastered out there.
Oh, sure.
And it's from when football looks cool in the school and the brand looks cool, thousands upon thousands of students go there. That study's been done a million times. I know somebody did that study one time way back with Florida State. And they said, my God, Bobby Bowden is worth every penny because kids look at Florida State when they were in the heyday and they go, what a cool – those kids can spend their money and their Pell Grants anywhere. They go, man, FSU's the place to go. Spurrier and the Gators, man, that's the place to go.
Right.
Miami, the Hurricanes with the palm trees and all, and the girls in bikinis, that's the place to go.
Now tell me, aren't they paying for every time Prime opens his mouth?
Yep.
That they're getting publicity from that. That is literally true. He wants to have a spring game.
Yep.
Between two teams.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I'll go a step further with this. What we've learned is they've actually petitioned the NCAA and they're waiting on an answer.
Yeah, I heard that they and Syracuse. Syracuse piggybacked. Syracuse piggybacked, and they sent up a petition or a request.
Yeah.
And I probably read the same report that you did. It said, in the way back bylaws of the NCAA, you can't have more than 12 regular season or practice, blah, 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 blah. Well, says who? That was just written in there, right? So says who? So, it's not as cutting edge as Deion's getting credit for because guys like you and me for 20 years have been saying, gosh, there's money to be made. Yeah. There's revenue to be made. Why not play a spring game?
But Terry, and I don't want to belabor this point much, but I think it shows where we are today in this world. That I know you got to win. I know that's the main goal.
Mm-hmm.
But and I may be wrong about this, but I don't think so. I think they're paying him because he is going to give them how much free publicity for that school. If he just stays there, what, Terry? Three more years. How much publicity could he get for that school?
Absolutely. It's hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And, there's a legitimate tracking formula that these big marketing companies, they literally have it down where they can tell you on pretty good guesstimates that brand, let's just say Colorado football, the University of Colorado, their brand, their team, their logo, mentions, radio just talking about, they can take all that and say, hey, over last year, the eyeballs and ears that saw and heard University of Colorado that Colorado didn't buy was worth $10 million if they bought it back. That's very doable. And I think that's where stuff like this comes from. They go, hey man, we're not paying for $10 million worth of advertising a year if we bought that much. And they'll tell you how many hours. They'll literally, it's painstaking, how many hours that logo was on TV, the game, the team name, and they can do $1 assignment and go, that was worth $20 million if you just bought advertising.
If he cut Terry, if Prime picks up the phone and he calls you and he asks for NIL money, and that he'll do you some business favor along the way to plug your business.
Yeah.
Tell me how you turn that down.
Yeah, it wouldn't be smart. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, if I'm other coaches, if I'm coaches in the same profession, I always want the next guy to get more.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
especially if my win-loss record is better, I go to that athletic director, like I said, and say, hey man, this guy's 4-8, 8-4. He's got $54 million.
Yeah.
We just hit the prime time. I'm not going to say he's the most mature. What is he, 56-year-old? He's not the most. He's growing up a little bit. He's not. He's not as kind of youthfully silly as he was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and he's good. I mean, his nickname's Primetime. He's good. He's good at publicity. He likes the camera. He likes, and a lot of some people just their natural personality. They don't like the camera.
Yeah.
And they tell their sports information guy, I'll do the ones I have to do.
Yeah, right.
Deion's good at publicity. He does publicity well.
Oh, yeah. Well, and see, right now, I don't know if I would go as far as saying he's the face of college football in some ways, but he's certainly one of them.
Yeah.
He's one of the top 5 guys, I think, that you would have right now. And here's the other thing without belaboring the point here too much is tell me who in the world are they going to go out and get?
Yeah.
Right now that would actually bring in the notoriety and the publicity that he would. See, I think guys like Judd Fish at Washington is still young enough to where he can make a splash. I still think he comes to Florida at some point in his career.
Yeah,
is a possibility, and you could get a guy like that. But I'm just thinking now in this day and age that Terry, you're either going to get a Nick Saban because he can turn your entire program around, and you can win national championships. And if you're probably not going to do that, you're going to go out and get a guy that is flashy enough. And that is that would be the master of the social media, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
That would bring you notoriety. I think that's your two. Are we off on that?
No.
That's your two choices right now in college football, isn't it?
It really is. I think you hit it right, nail right on it. Hammer right on the nail right there. Last thing about Deion, and Brett would probably take a break and keep you one more segment if you don't mind.
Yeah.
By the way, let me remind people, I've got it out at the beginning of the show. We go off at 5:30 today for boys high school lacrosse. We'll be on Action Sports Jack. So we've got Bowls taking on Lake Highland Prep, some live boys high school lacrosse coming up. So we'll get out of here a little bit early at 5:30. Deion, kind of an interesting year coming up for Deion. Year 3,
Yes.
The best players on his team are gone. I'm not saying
the kids are gone.
I'm not saying they can't be replaced, and that's the key to do. But it'll be interesting if Deion and Colorado, if they throw a 5-7 up. Okay, then next year, not this coming year, but then the next year's interesting. Was that a flash in the pan? Was it no substance? How often do you get your son? Your two sons and a best friend that's the best player in college football. Kind of an interesting year, not a put up or shut up, but Deion needs, for the quarter public opinion, he needs 7-8 wins, right? At least.
Yeah, probably. But here's the reality, though. Wherever he goes from here, I don't think it's going to matter to the person who hires him. I think they're going to look at this as this is a guy who can put our school's name on the front page of the sports section. Yeah. And right now we can't pay for that.
Well, what I was more saying, the football people, if he goes 5-7, you go, okay, you went 4-8, 8-4, but you had some special players you'll never get again. How often are you going to have, it'll be interesting. I want to try and look real quick at their schedule. Oh yeah, that's right. They open up with Georgia Tech. That'll be a nice game.
It will be.
And Tech can certainly beat them. It is in Boulder, so they've got Georgia Tech.
Right.
That's a toss-up, would you say?
Yeah.
Brent Key's done a nice job. Delaware, they'll get a win. Houston, I'd have to dig into Houston and Wyoming, so theoretically winnable. BYU comes to Colorado. That'll be a tough game. TCU will be a tough game. Iowa State will be a tough game.
Yes.
Utah will be a tough. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Arizona, West Virginia, Rich Rod, Arizona State. I mean, Kansas State. Woo.
Is that 7-5 or 6-6?
Ooh, man, you better. Boy, they better get that first one. They better get Georgia. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty difficult schedule.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
Particularly for a program that you're not earmarking as one of the title contenders.
Yeah.
They're not.
He will really do himself some favors. And now, look, he's not going to be there to end that contract. But if he was to stay 3 or 4 years, he would diminish this. Well, he's a flash in the pan, only going to be somewhere for a couple of years. And
that's where I'm going with that. He needs a couple more wins.
Yes.
Doesn't need to fall on his face and stay there 2 or 3 more years, and then you go, okay, this guy's a legitimate football coach.
Yes. Yes.
If he wants to coach into his 70s, somebody says, well, we can go. We got 15 years with this guy.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Brent, let's take another break. We'll come back and jump into the games tonight, kind of peek ahead. But the 4 tonight, how will the SEC take center stage again?
I really do. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, 6 teams standing. Should have been 7 probably. We'll talk one more segment with Brent Beard. Remember, we get out of here at 5:30 for high school lacrosse. We'll come back, kick off the second hour on the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jax.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen. for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Hey, welcome back. Terry Norvelle here in studio on a Friday. Brent Beard joining me. We've gotten deep into March Madness, as we should. It's the main topic in the sports world right now. Brent, shame on me. I'm sitting there going, I think Patrick's probably on a plane right now. He's got duty tomorrow.
Sure.
Actually, all weekend. As long as the SEC has a team alive, they will continue to do, post-game SEC Now.
You're going to have a lot of them.
Yeah. and as Patrick says, hey, stay alive. Those are paychecks. Those are paychecks.
No doubt about it.
Every time you walk in that SEC network. So look for Patrick tomorrow, I think. And it makes it really tough. But, he gets paid well, I'm sure. But the SEC network, the SEC doesn't have any rights to any of the games.
Right.
CBS owns this whole kit and caboodle. That you can still do all the shows you want to do, but you can't go on live until the network of record goes off.
Yeah.
So when you're doing SEC Now post game, you're waiting and particularly the last game of the night, and you're in studio. That can be tough. Because you got to wait, let's say True TV or whoever's got it. Obviously, CBS has them all, but they farm them out. Let's say they last game gets over around midnight, right?
Maybe.
and it involves an SEC team.
Yeah.
And True TV, CBS, whoever says, okay, let's do an all-day wrap. What all happened all day? There's another 45 minutes, an hour. But, I think Patrick's shame on me. I forgot all about that. Brent Beard joins us second hour here. We get out at 5:30 for boys lacrosse. Brent, you ever played lacrosse? That's what I've never played it. Never. I don't even know if I've held any of the sticks or anything.
My youngest, who just had our first grandchild,
saw the picture.
Played lacrosse at Fleming Island High School, and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mike Lyons, who used to be a sports anchor?
I sure do.
Mike's son coached her in lacrosse. They really had a pretty good program there.
Interesting. Never played that.
I would, and I can tell you this: I would much rather watch lacrosse than I would soccer.
I'll tell you one thing. That's a push for me. No. I'd probably rather watch soccer. I don't know what the hell they're doing in lacrosse. They're running behind the goal. I just don't know the rules, and I don't know. Soccer is a little more okay. They're trying to kick that ball in that goal. I'll tell you one thing though. Lacrosse, everybody's got those big sticks in their hand, right?
Hey, they do.
You better keep that high school girl in Virginia away from lacrosse. Did you see where the girl whacked the other girl in the Virginia high school track meet with the baton because she was going to lose?
Amazing.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Brent, probably 2 weeks ago now, Virginia girls track and field event, state championship. It's a relay, so you've got the baton in relays. You got to hand them. So they're coming around the final backstretch, and this one girl is, she's 3 or 4 getting beat by the other girl by 3 or 4 feet, and they're turning, and it's as blatant as the nose on my face. You can see the girl must have thought, well, I'm going to lose wait a minute. And she whacks her and knocks her out into the infield. Yeah, terrible. Terrible. It was terrible.
What I would hope that the girl who hit her was disqualified.
She was.
Probably disqualified, maybe forever.
She was. And, well, then a couple of days went by and some lawyers got involved, and she was screaming, I wasn't in the wrong. Anyway, let's get off that. Brent, we got 4 games to talk about real quick. We'll keep you one more segment, and then we'll come back, wrap the show up, and throw it to boys high school lacrosse here on live lacrosse, as a matter of fact, from Bowles High School here on Action Sports Jacks. Let's just go in order tonight. I don't see Michigan State losing to Ole Miss. I would love Ole Miss to spring the upset. 7:09 tip. Ole Miss. Tom Izzo, he's tough in this tournament. He knows how to coach in this tournament. You probably feel like me. You probably think Michigan State's going to win it. But, man, I'd love to see this upset happen.
Yeah, matter of fact, Michigan State may beat Ole Miss and Auburn coming up, too. That wouldn't shock me. But the reality of it is Ole Miss should not be counted out of this. Sean Padilla, who hit that game winner in the SEC tournament, is one of the better guards anywhere. And again, this bears repeating. Everybody is jumping up and down about Rick Pitino taking 16 to the NCAA tournament. Well, Chris Beard's taken 4.
How about
and
that?
That's not 4 behind being able to do that. Terry, this is the game that, besides Alabama over Duke, that if Ole Miss beats Michigan State, this would get national attention.
Yeah, it'd be a big win. It'd be a big win.
It would be, oh boy, Ole Miss beat Izzo.
Yeah. I've got Michigan State winning that region. I've got them going to the Final Four, getting by Auburn. But oh man, I'll be hotty-totty tonight. Pulling for Ole Miss. That's probably the last. I'm trying to think real quick. Yeah, that's probably the last potential wow. Right? I mean, wow. Not only would it be a 6 beating a 2. What happened? Oh, did I lose it? You still there, Brett?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is Patrick who's on.
Oh, I don't hear him. I don't see him. Pat, you there? Uh-oh, I don't hear him.
Thank you. Terry, I can hear him.
Well, y'all do the show. I'm gonna get out of here. I can't hear him. So
I like this. I gotta do this. Brent. Unlike Terry, disrespectful, mean Terry. Are you gonna watch any of the women's games?
No.
I mean,
say no. Say no, Brent.
See, Brent. He's terrible. He's terrible.
Brett, before you answer, remember what I live by. God and Santa are always listening.
God and Santa.
So now answer that, Brett. Answer that question. Are you going to watch some of the women?
I will admit, when they get to the Final Four, I watch it because it's fundamental basketball, and it's usually and the scores are much closer.
So what's cool about the women's side too, like it's very rare for their 1 seeds to not make it.
Yes.
So you're getting great quality games coming up, but the SEC does, the women's side, have a lot of games, a lot of teams still in. But when it comes to going to the girl at UCLA, Lauren Betts, she's 6'7", and she is similar to, like, I'm trying to say, because she's so dominant. Like Zach Edey obviously was 7'4". Yeah. She's not that tall, but her impact on the game is like that. Like, and she's such a good passer. You try to double team her, she gets it out. It's unbelievable. I just like seeing really talented players in general, man.
Hey, do you guys
on both sides?
Do you guys hear all that? There's a bunch of clicking, click. You know what that clicking is? That's everybody turning off this stream because Patrick's got us talking women's girls basketball. For God's sake,
Terry,
Patrick.
I'm an investor in our new Upshot League, Terry. Forgive me for wanting to make sure this investment doesn't fail.
Yeah.
Patrick, Let me help you. Let me help you, Patrick. I'm going to give you back some time, and time is valuable. I'm going to give you time. All the time that you're going to waste on this women's basketball thing, just take your money and get you one of those lighters and just burn it in about 5 seconds, and you get all that time you're going to waste back.
Wow.
Hey Pat.
Am I wrong?
While we got you on the men's side, tell me, can and I value your opinion on this. Can Ole Miss and Auburn both? Can they win tonight?
Ooh. I think Auburn can. You know, Michigan, they're a good team, but they're not like. I don't know if they can. You know, the word that everyone likes using right now is spurtability.
Yeah.
I don't think Michigan, like, you can watch an Auburn game, go to, you know, say you emergently need to answer a phone call, go to the bathroom, answer the doorbell rings. Yeah. They could be up or down by a few. You come back and all of a sudden they're up by 12. You know, that's Auburn. That's Auburn basketball.
Right.
Ole Miss, we looking at Ole Miss. Like, I haven't watched a lot of Michigan State, but I do know Michigan State plays 10 guys. Nobody plays more than 30 minutes.
Right.
They have depth. I haven't paid attention to a lot of Big Ten games, but I trust Tom Izzo.
Yeah. I agree.
It's hard to count him out, man.
It really is.
And Chris Beard, obviously, he has the pedigree, and I think he has the players like Brakefield, Murray,
Padula.
Morrell, Padula, Dia. It's going to be a tough match. I just hope it's going to be a great match. Like, I just hate for it to be a disappointment of a blowout, because both of these teams have had really good seasons. So I'm excited for it. And Terry and Brent, did you guys struggle staying up for the last two?
Yes.
I shut it down after the Gator game. I said, why fight and only make halftime? I just said, to hell with it. I'll catch up in the morning.
I fought so hard to watch the Arkansas Tech game.
Me too.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting tired. Like, Arkansas was up. I'm like, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna listen to the game with my eyes closed.
Yeah, how'd that work, Pat?
But what's so crazy, I woke up around, like, I fell asleep. Let's say I fell asleep around 10 something. I woke up at 12 and the game was still on.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Hey, Pat, while we've got you, Brent and I were talking Florida, Maryland. I want to get your opinion, obviously, on that ball game last night. I thought it went exactly to script. I mean, Florida's depth, Florida's bent. It was all, and they pulled away.
Did you almost get annoyed by how many times Stan Van Gundy had to keep saying, it's the rebounding battle. They're getting killed on the boards.
Yeah.
It's the rebounding.
Yeah.
If the Gators don't start off in that game with the turnovers, I mean,
it's blowout
complete. And I said it. I text my boys that they were asking, Pat, what do you think? I said Gators by 15. I was wrong. Gators by 16.
Gators by 16. I thought that game. Went exactly. I thought that game went exactly to script. I really did. Hey, Pat, you know you got food for all of us. You know, it's pretty rude, man. It's pretty rude, Pat. I can't lie.
You know what's ironic? The lady that just brought me the food, her name's Terry too. She is so much nicer and just like the polar opposite of Terry Norvelle.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry would never do. He would never do something like this for me.
Hey, Pat, we got to ask you, what do you think of Bama last night?
Woo!
And Pat, can they beat Duke?
Isn't it crazy? I love that you brought that up, Brent. But it's insane. Like, I don't understand the logic of Vegas. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Bama just goes on and beats a pretty, like, I'm gonna say really good, but offensively minded 85 points a game.
I agree.
BYU team, and BYU, they still scored 88 points.
That's right.
So they still hit their number.
Yeah.
Bama scores 113.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're a 6.5 dog to Duke. Yeah. And look, Duke looks out like, how is this game at least not even?
Really?
And I know they hate, they hate putting that.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Arizona was that great of a team. I thought they were good. I didn't think Arizona would be a Final Four team.
Right.
They put a much better fight to Duke. I thought.
I agree with that.
Holy
I agree with.
Excuse my language. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Like I knew when he, the shot he made before halftime, it just looked like a script that he got it. He's coming down the middle. No one's picking him up. 1-2 knocked, and I'm like, because part of me, I'm like, I don't want to just dive into the hype and think that kid, like, is he really that good? Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. You look at the bracket, and I know we still got a lot of basketball left, but if Duke was to, from right now, win out and win the title, they could have to go through 3 consecutive SEC schools.
Yeah, you're right.
They've got Alabama. I think Tennessee gets by, and they might get Tennessee in the Final Four, and then Florida, Ole Miss, Auburn. That would be for the anti-SEC people. That would be the saving grace.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Well, look at this great conference. Duke just said, "Bam, bam, bam." They've got a shot.
If Duke stays, I honestly don't think, and I'm not a Duke fan at all. Coach K, for some reason, always just kind of rubbed me wrong. Just something, I just knew something about him. But John Shire, for some reason, he is way more likable.
Yeah.
The players that they have, it's just something seems just a little bit shifted in this atmosphere where I can say, I'm not like, I hated seeing Kansas succeed. I hated seeing them. No, I hated more than anything. As you know this, Terry, which basketball program does Patrick Young dislike the most? Due to style of play.
Yeah. Who's the one you can't stand?
Come on, man.
They go so slow, and they're grinded out. Like it's kind of like Mississippi State. They grind it. Who is that?
And they won a national championship against Auburn.
Virginia. He hates Virginia.
Yeah.
Virginia.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Pat, tell us if you know it, and it may still be in flux. Tell us your TV situation.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What's going on?
The next few days.
Yeah, so it's way different than regular season. Like, if I was working a Saturday, I would have to fly in today, like Friday,
right?
Because we would start working at 12, 11, because we don't have, these games aren't on our network.
Yes.
I can fly out Saturday early afternoon.
Okay.
Get into the studio, watch the games. I can watch the game at the hotel. I can watch the games in the studio.
Right.
We won't get on air to do anything until 11 o'clock, maybe.
Woo!
Until the last SEC game is done and they finish their post-game coverage, then we can talk about it and show it.
Yeah.
So those days are different. It's not as bad as you think. It's just it's a little bit more boring, kind of. I don't know, because you're getting. And look, I will happily get paid for an hour of work. It's just that, the timing. So that'll be my schedule Saturday.
What about Sunday?
And Sunday, right?
Sunday, same.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. Yep, same thing. And then I think for the Final Four, we got an SEC team. It'll be the same. And then no more travel. No more travel.
Well, let me ask you this, Pat. Will you guys actually be on site in San Antonio somewhere? Or do you know that?
I know for sure they will have, Dari or Peter or Alyssa. They'll be on site for sure. And they'll have somebody, one or two. I don't know if they'll have two. It depends. If there's 2 SEC teams in the Final Four, it might be.
Absolutely.
I think you bring 2 guys. Why not? Do one. Absolutely. I don't know. If there's 3, you got to bring your boy. Get your boy a ticket. Get your boy a ticket.
I tell you, what a shame.
It was so cool being there for their win against UConn and being in that area with the Gator folks and the team. It'd be a memory. I'll never forget being there in Raleigh, but to be there with the Gators in the Final Four. Oh my gosh, I would never forget. I don't know much about Tech.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
I saw that game. Arkansas should have won.
Oh, absolutely.
Arkansas should have won that game.
Yes.
How you're down? They're down. You're up 3 points.
Really?
What does Texas Tech need? They need a 3.
Yeah.
Carter Knox. How do you not you need to beat Brent?
Yes.
As a defensive back tries to press a guy on the line.
Sure.
As soon as it's a hike, that's what Carter Knox should have been. As soon as you catch the ball, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah.
And he gave him too much space, and overtime, anything happens then.
Hey, what I was going to say, what a shame this what looks like very, very special SEC basketball season. What a shame that the Final Four isn't somewhere more in the South. I mean,
in Atlanta.
What a year for it to be in Atlanta or New Orleans or Tampa or it's got to be in a big stadium now. They got to be in domes now. But just messing around, I banged in Jacksonville driving distance, San Antonio. It's a smooth. By the way, it's almost a straight line. I mean, it's a straight line, but it's a smooth 1,000 miles.
12 hours.
Yeah, no, it said 16 and change, which means with
18.
Yeah, and to drive it, that would kill a week. You'd be beat up for a week,
wouldn't it?
Going out there, you're beat up. Coming back, I'm like, because if Florida was to make the Final Four, but you just can't afford the plane tickets, man. You're like, what in the world? I'd love to go and cover it and do some work out there, but oh my God, the plane tickets.
The number of people though, too, Terry. And that's the argument. And this is you just brought a thought to my head, the Olympic villages and what those, we talked about it. Is it worth bringing that stuff to the city? This is the type of stuff, if you do an Olympic village and you make that whole setup in a spot, you make that a premier spot or championship, Final Four, Super Bowl in it, big events, because that city will have the infrastructure to maintain that. But the fact that we're not smart enough to do that or haven't done it yet, when what we're going to do in LA in 2028, I'm just so curious what that's going to mean for the city afterwards, the aftermath,
All right, guys, we got about 3 minutes. We're going off early for lacrosse today. Obviously, boys lacrosse comes up at the bottom of the hour. Bulls taking on Lake Highland Prep. Patrick Young, I'll let you get out of here with give us your answer. When we reconvene on Monday, are the Gators Final Four bound, or is their season over?
Hang a banner.
Okay. Like it.
Hanging a banner. Are we hanging a banner or we're putting – we're hanging a banner. We're hanging a banner.
Yeah.
Brent Beard, same question.
Yes. Both Terry and I have said for weeks now Florida's going to win the whole thing. They look –
To win it, you got to get in the Final Four. So y'all both say Florida's going to win tomorrow.
Bro, but look, I'm going to be – if it happens, Auburn-Florida matchup for the Final Four to go, oh, my gosh.
Woo. Yeah. That'll be big.
Oh,
yeah. All right, guys.
It's so crazy.
I'm going to let you two guys go. Enjoy tonight, all weekend. Great basketball coming up, I think. Good-looking stuff on paper. We'll get together on Monday. Thanks, guys. Okay. Y'all have a great weekend.
Take care, guys.
Okay, guys, we're going to kind of wrap up the show here. We've got lacrosse coming up, live lacrosse, boys lacrosse over at Bowles. Bowles is taking on Lake Highland Prep. So stay right here on Action Sports Jacks. Real quick, we didn't have a chance to get into a lot of our miscellaneous stuff today. Major League Baseball opened up yesterday. I have some news and notes I wanted to get out. How about yesterday, before the game started, I saw where the White Sox have a terrible number. Las Vegas says they're going to win 52. They're going to be terrible again. They go out and win their first game. White Sox are 1-0, for God's sakes. Are the Dodgers headed for 162-0? Are they just going to win every game? I kid, but what a pomp and circumstance yesterday in Dodger Stadium as they started their season. at home. Obviously, they played 2 games. They're 3-0 now, but man, I tell you, they had a Dodger blue carpet from center field all the way into the infield. They're announcing the players. It was a spectacle. Paul Skeens and the Pirates, they're at it again. Poor Skeens. He goes 5 1/3 yesterday. Obviously, the opening day starter for the Pirates. Skeens goes 5 1/3, 3 hits. He allows 2 runs, 7 strikeouts. He leaves the game with a lead. Of course, the Pirates blow it. No decision. I say, with regard to Paul Skeens, every no decision he gets should count as a win. he's just gonna pitch his arm off again. And Skeens has got to get out of there. Braves give up 4 in the 7th. This relief pitcher had a terrible, terrible debut. 0 innings pitched. He didn't get an out. 3 hits. He allowed 3 runs on a home run. Braves lose to open the season to San Diego. So Major League Baseball really buried right now. And then that crazy thing they did in Japan. I don't even think people realize that baseball started. All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll get together on Monday. Are the Gators Final Four bound? Is their season over? We'll talk about that on the Monday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks. Have a great weekend, everybody.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in